කාන්තා දිවිය ගැන කතා කරද්දී කාන්තා සවිබල ගැන්වීමේ ප්‍රමුඛයා අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙනවා. වසර 25ක කාලයක් අඛණ්ඩ වූ ග්‍රාමීය කාන්තාවන් සවිබල ගැන්වීමේ නියමවරයෙක් විදිහට ඔහු කටයුතු කරද්දී අද කාන්තා දිනයටත් එක්කාසු වෙමින් කාන්තාවටත් සුභාශිෂ්‍යන එක්කාසු කරානේ. දැන් ආරාධනා කරනවා Good News Radio එකේ අහගෙන ඉන්න කාන්තා සියලුම දෙනාටත් ඔබේ සුභාශිෂ්‍යන එක්කාසු කරමින් හඩාවති කරන්න සූදානම් අපි Good Volunteer segment එක ආරම්භ කරන්නට ආයුබෝවන් ගුණජය සතර භද්‍රමේ ගරු නිර්මාතෘතුමා සභාපතිතුමා ශිල් ගුණසේකර මහත්මයාට
සතර ආශිර්වාද වේවා. මම හිතන්නේ මම විතරයි මේ අද කාන්තා ජාත්‍යන්තර කාන්තා දිනේ මම විතරයි මේ පිළිමි කෙනෙක් හැටියට ඉන්නේ. මම විතරයි වගේ මේ ස්ටුඩියෝ එකෙත්. ඉතින්
there are 5 women in the studio and then there's Kushal.
Oh boy. Okay, so actually it's been an amazing day today. We've had some very special programs on the International Women's Day at the Center for Women's Empowerment and Enterprise, and we have had huge, like a planned initiatives at the center. I think Vishmi was the one who was actually leading all these programs, and she could give a brief later as to what she was doing. But we have some, people who came and added value, lecturers and, speakers, but that's only just the surface of what the Women's International Day is all about. But more importantly, it's about taking action, doing something, and making things happen. And that's what it is, because, International Women's Day is, for me, if you just mark it as a day to remember the women, it's not going to make any difference. It's like also, Mother's Day or Father's Day or, Environmental Day or whatever you. But I think what makes the change, what makes the difference is to really go out and empower the women to become, career women who can actually make a difference not only to their family but to their society and to the nation. I think that is the key. And in that context, we've done some amazing work. The Foundation of Goodness, we make things happen. We don't just talk about the Women's Day and then kind of relax, but we reflect upon it, we take action. We want to make things happen, and I think our impact of empowerment over the years have been truly phenomenal. The incredible strength, the resilience, and the achievements of the women we have empowered in the rural sector have been, fairly, significant. And as you know, the Foundation of Goodness tries very hard to bridge the rural hardships and between rural hardships and the urban progress. That's what we are always striving to achieve. And to that extent, I think in terms of women in IT alone, right now we have got 7,689 empowered. And then livelihood programs of different vocations in the women's empowerment, whether it's sewing, whether it's making soft toys, making bags, desserts, cookery, and bakery, curtain making, so many different areas of activities. We've been able to do these livelihood programs and accomplish the delivery of already 11,671 women whom through our programs island-wide have actually made an impact. Women learning English, there are 7,967 who have learned and are learning English. So that's a massive. So these are on the International Women's Day. We would like to actually pay a tribute to the ladies who have done outstandingly well, but it's about contributing, because in Sri Lanka there's 52% ladies and only 48% men. But if you really look at the 52%, but still we haven't really bridged that gap that exists. Trying to bring a balance. So,
52%
so if you talk about
women, but only 35% in the labor force.
In the
labor force who are working.
Yeah. And also, if you take the parliament, it's just only about 10%. So, and then, women in agriculture, we've done maybe nearly 2,500. Women in sports, about 4,700 odd. Good values initiative that we have, made them learn to become goodness ambassadors, over 5,000. So, these numbers keep running, and that's what we want to achieve. And that empowerment milestones are what we want to celebrate on this International Women's Day. Just not have a program for the day and then give lecture and then forget. But we want to really upskill them and make them, really, understand their role, especially as a mother as well. And even in our centers right now, 65% are girls and only 35% are boys. So that tells the story too. I think maybe Sri Lanka might be best going forward into the future. There might be more leaders coming from, the ladies, because we need to empower the ladies. And if the ladies are empowered, they have a way about how to manage their finances, how to look after the family, how best to administer and teach the kids to get to where they want. So I'm really a big fan of women's empowerment, and that's why we've actually worked very hard. And on this day, we celebrate that journey. It's not about talking and saying this is what we want to do. This is what we have showcased, done and delivered. So in that context, we are really happy to be celebrating the Women's International Day.
Completely agree with you, Kushil. So, right, like Kushil rightfully said, Women's Day isn't just a tick box where you say, okay, we had a celebration today. That's not what Women's Day is about. Of course, yes, you should celebrate women, but it's about meaningful impact. And I think the Foundation of Goodness has done a marvelous job where they walk the talk. They don't just do an event on Women's Day, but throughout the whole year, the Foundation of Goodness really works towards empowering women. And I feel like in this area, especially in rural Sri Lanka, the role of a woman sometimes can be restricted to that of a mother and a wife and a homemaker. So the Foundation of Goodness has really reclassified that role, I'd say. I can see the number of women who come here, the number of women who are learning skills so that they can earn a living, so that they can be financially independent. And that's really breaking that small stereotype where that they have to be at home and just doing household chores and looking after their kids. Not to say that that's any less. Of course, being a mother and being a homemaker is a remarkable thing, and that's the foundation of society. But if you can do more, you should, and society shouldn't restrict you.
And also, Sashikala, it is all about, for example, we go into areas that women generally traditionally do not, get engaged. For example, we produced about 6 women electricians, and that's never heard in villages. And then we also have women who have become divers, through our Dive for Good Center. And now recently we started women in surfing, right? So we are building a team where the young girls who have become really great swimmers at our sports academy coming out and, creating a team of a women in surfing. And maybe I heard Lottie is with us here. We'll talk about her in a while, but from England, and she was out there seeing I think in Hikkadua the surfing competition, and I think very soon the Foundation of Goodness will be able to field a team of young girls who are going to take part in women in surfing. So these are some of the areas where these livelihoods do not are not something that the parents would like to, or traditionally it's never been the case. But we want to venture out into areas that what the men can do, the women can do as well. If you take cricket, for example, 15 years ago, who would have thought that women will be playing cricket at this level, and or even rugby. So all I'm saying is that what the men can do, they probably will have a go at me, but what the women can do, and what the men can do, the women can do as well, equally well.
I think Kushal is 100% correct. And the Foundation of Goodness, when they talk about empowering women, they don't just empower women in the traditional sense. The Foundation of Goodness empowers women in various, a multifaceted way, because for the Foundation of Goodness, it's not only about empowering women in the stereotypical baking, hairdressing, the bridal, not in that only. They don't restrict women for those only. They really empower women, like Kushal said, in swimming, to diving, now electricians, and in finance, to all of these activities. And I think the Foundation of Goodness Sports Center has been a remarkable success story in that sense.
And I'll tell you the last story, which is even more interesting and something very, very, productive and meaningful. For example, we run the back office operation for John Keels, and it's run by 16 girls, and they do the business process outsourcing, technology-enabled solutions and services, and they are like 16 girls who didn't have access to computers in 2011, but now they've actually come, to become agents of the back office operation of the biggest conglomerate in Sri Lanka. And they are 16 girls, and they didn't migrate to the city. Otherwise, they would have had to pay the boarding fees, they would have to pay for their meals, the transport costs, but they live with their own families. The quality of life has got better, cheaper for the client, and also sustainable income generation for the Foundation of Goodness. So that's just one case in, case in point, where this is a great example of girls given the opportunity who can make progress. And even as we speak, we have two here, Natalie and Chumana, right? Both, are in your class, I think, and speaking some good English. So they are also joining here today. Both are, I think, 12 years of age, 12 and 13 and 13. So both are 13. So at 13, I'd love to see, these girls speak English, and I am sure they will also ask questions from our guest today, Lottie, who's been here with us for 7 weeks. She's a remarkable story, actually. She came to play cricket with us, I think, 3 years ago. I'm not sure she will tell you exactly what. 3 years ago. She came with her club or the school?
County.
Yeah, the county. She came to play, and she saw, our team in action, and she saw the potential we have. So she has come here to actually train. And it's also something very important to highlight on International Women's Day. Here is an international lady who's come here at the age of 19, to spend 7 weeks. I'm not sure whether any of our mothers would have sent, a daughter to another country for 7 weeks, volunteering and helping our girls cricket team, and she's done a lot of work with our junior ladies cricket, and for her, it's about volunteering, and volunteering is priceless. I keep saying in this program, whenever I interview or have a chat with volunteers, that the most precious thing is that your time that you expend cannot be relived. But if it's money, if it's like a grant, if it's knowledge that you give away, you can always acquire it back again, so, but never the time that you spend. So, being young as you are, we weren't that strict with you, because we allowed you to have a balance and do the work, as well as go to Hikadu and do some party as well. But that has made a really, feel for this, assignment and then come back later to volunteer more. But I must tell you, we are indeed very grateful for your time, especially when you do something unasked. That is a superior kind of deed of compassion. I always keep saying, and you've been very empathetic, very supportive, and you learned some very good lessons down the line. You've become more humble. I think you've understood, not to take things for granted. So, and you have also coached a lot of the girls, and you yourself can tell us later how the girls are coming up in terms of playing cricket. And I know you also volunteered at the preschool. So also today is your last day, and I think Natalie and Jumana will have a few questions at least to ask, so that they can become inspired as well. So they're both English little stars. Her badge will be given next week, and so both of them are the peers who can actually go and inspire a lot of girls and boys of the age group to become better in spoken English. We have Sashikala, who's a public Toastmaster, and she comes on every Saturday. Today she has even driven by herself to get here. So we are indeed very, very grateful, Lottie, for your time here, energy, the knowledge that you actually shared. It's a noble endeavor, right? So thank you very much for coming here. And Sashikala.
Yes, so I think, Lottie, we've heard so much about you. We know what you have been doing here, but for everyone who'd like to get to know you, maybe you can start off by giving a little bit of an introduction about yourself and how you came to the Foundation of Goodness.
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Kushil. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here. It's been very eye-opening. I've really enjoyed it, meeting everyone, proper family out here. It's a very good community feel. Like Kushil said, I came out here 3 years ago on a cricket tour and fell in love with the country. I thought Sri Lanka's a phenomenal place. I love how everyone smiles. I will keep saying that. You walk down the street and everyone's smiling at each other. It's something that you don't have at home where I live. So I've loved that. And then, I've been coaching cricket out here to the girls and the boys, mainly sort of under 13, under 15 kind of age groups, over at the sports centre, but also doing preschool, which is something I hadn't intended on doing originally. It just sort of fell into it and have loved doing it, working with Sujata and Kavini. They are very, very cool women. If you ever think about women's empowerment, I think about those two. They're amazing. That's what I've been spending my time here doing.
But I think you work with Dinesh as well, and Dinesh, from the cricket angle. I'm sure as much as you have given your knowledge and expertise to the kids, you might have also learned some nice ways from Dinesh, knowing who he is.
I learned so much from Dinesh. He's got fabulous morals. He's a very grounded person. Cricket wise, I also learned from him, but I have had people at home that have taught me about how to teach, which is such an important lesson in itself. But Dinesh has taught me so much about morals and things like that, which I've loved. Also, on the first Saturday I was here, I believe, maybe the second, they had a cricket camp at Sri Sumangala School, and they had coaches, all men and all boys training. I was the only girl there for the whole day, but I'm glad that I went. Obviously, I got to represent the females in that environment. But the coaches there were a crazy standard. They were so good, and I think I learnt most about coaching from that day, and I'm so glad that I had that opportunity at the beginning of my stay here. I was writing this down to Dominica yesterday, saying that I'm so glad that I had that opportunity at the beginning, because then all of those lessons that I've learned, I've been able to then put into my coaching in the last 5 weeks since.
Wonderful. So let's talk about a little bit about you and cricket. How long have you been playing cricket for, and what is your position? Are you a batter? Are you a bowler? Or an all-rounder? Would love to hear a little bit.
And how did you get into cricket? What was your inspiration? I mean, not very many people, or not very many ladies do get into cricket, but I know it's picking up hugely. I mean, in countries like England, Australia, New Zealand.
Massive.
Yeah, massive. And even in India. And now I can see Sri Lanka as well as, so many coming out and playing cricket. I just walked into the field today at about 11:30, and I saw this. She's played, I think, one or two games for Asia Cup, but she's also playing for under-19 World Cup. She can bowl from both arms.
I think I've met her.
Yeah.
I had a training session with them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And there was a local school team.
Yeah.
And the standard was phenomenal.
Yeah, she's bowling left arm Chinaman and right arm
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lovely girls, and they're my age. Some of them are younger than me, and they're all playing at the international level.
Yeah.
And so humble and down to earth and driven as well. They're great girls, but I have met her. She's lovely.
So tell us about, I'm sure, how was your day like, like normal day? Like, let's say, I know there isn't cricket practices in the morning. So you would come to the Center of Excellence in the morning, and then you would end up, like 6:30 in the evening. But just tell us, how was your day like, on a normal day?
So I would wake up and have breakfast with Girlie every morning. She was amazing. With Girlie, she looked after me so well. She was, she's brilliant.
What is your favorite breakfast when in Sri Lanka? I know you don't have.
I love the string hoppers.
String
hoppers and dal. I haven't actually had that with Girlie yet, but every time I go on my little weekend excursions, I always get string hoppers.
So did you miss your English breakfast?
No, I'm not really a breakfast person. I like coffee. I haven't had that much coffee since I've been out here, but I don't really miss the English breakfast.
Yeah, so you used to have string hoppers and dal and
it's amazing.
In the
morning. Do that with Girlie, and then I would walk over to here
Foundation
to the OYOB, exactly. And I would teach preschool from about 8:30 till 11:30.
Very nice.
Which I loved doing. Like I said, I sort of fell into that, and that's been a real highlight because it was unexpected. And the kids are just amazing. They're so sweet. And I had some really interesting trips. Like one day we taught the preschoolers how to swim. Another day we went to the local temple and visited there. And I've learned a lot being with the preschool, not just being around kids. And then I'd head back for lunch. I love that walk, the walk from the sports centre to here.
To the partnership.
Yeah, I've done that twice a day every day, and it's really become a nice 10 minutes on my own, just peaceful in the sun, just with my thoughts. I quite enjoy that walk. And then make myself some lunch. I love cooking, so I'm so glad that I've been living at the sports centre where I have access to a kitchen. That's been really nice. And then I would typically go outside and watch, because the local school that's next to the cricket ground, they had pretty much use of our facilities, or at least they do, of the cricket pitch at lunchtime. So there was not a day that went by when there wouldn't be people there. So I'd go and watch, hang outside, see people. The sports centre is just such a hub. It's so busy permanently. There's always a buzz. I love it. Sometimes I'll go and have a bowl myself in the nets, do a little bit of training, and then at 3:00 Dinesh would come and I would coach with him in the afternoons, and it was great. I really loved it. And then heading to Hikkaduwa in the evenings.
Yeah, and had a party. I mean, at your age,
and have a party.
You're allowed to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Always back by 11 though, so the security don't lock me out.
Yeah. And
fun evenings.
Yeah.
Try and go for a sunset swim. I managed that a few times, finishing the cricket training at 5:30 and then be in the water by 6.
Sounds like such a eventful
Yeah.
few weeks Lottie has had, but more importantly, like we know that you've been doing some remarkable work. So like Kushal said, Lottie, thank you so much for all what you have done. Something though I personally noticed is how well she has blended with everyone. It's like she's always been at the Foundation of Goodness. Everyone's like besties with Lottie, and she's had a remarkable time here because she has the ability to really blend with the community here, and not just the staff but with the community. You said she's famous in Hikkaduwa now, so she's really blended with the
Infamous.
for the community as well. So
she's like an exception to the rule. English.
Right.
I'm just wondering whether she's English, because English are quite reserved at the very outset, but and then they get very friendly. But in her case, she's so friendly, so enthusiastic, so affable, so amiable, and very positive in outlook. She goes, she gets friendly, she talks to everybody.
So she's a Sri Lankan at heart.
Exactly.
And
this is why Sri Lanka's the place for me in England. I'm too talkative, too out there, too smiley. People look at me funny. Whereas out here, everyone's just so lovely. It's such an easy place to be friendly in.
And she's going to come back, no doubt, and after she goes to the university, and then, during her holidays, I'm sure she's going to come here. She's going to work hard, save money, and come here. And then she cannot forget Hikkaduwa, of course. That's her after work life, so, but she's had a very good time, and we encourage, but she's, literally she would go to Hikkaduwa and introduce me to some people. And it's been really.
She's made Hikkaduwa her home.
Exactly.
Absolutely, and I think she takes great pride in wearing the T-shirts.
I love it.
And she's saying she's from the Foundation of Goodness. She represents the Foundation of Goodness. So when she goes a bit out of line, I correct her. But
that's one of my favorite things in Hikkaduwa, to go out, and everyone assumes that I'm Russian. There are so many Russians there, and I find it very frustrating how people come up and speak to me in Russian, and I have to turn around and I either reply in Sinhala or in English. Like, no, I'm not Russian.
But most of the time when you wear the T-shirt, also a lot of people recognize you.
Yes, yeah, but if I'm not wearing the T-shirt specifically, they then assume that I'm a tourist, and I am a tourist. And Sri Lankans and Russians alike, where are you staying? What hotel are you staying in? And I say, no, I'm staying in Sinigama. And as soon as I say Sinigama, the Sri Lankans are all like, Foundation of Goodness. And I say, yeah, I'm from the Foundation of Goodness. And they think that that's so cool. And I love being able to walk around going, yeah, I'm representing the Foundation of Goodness. I'm an advocate. I feel so proud to wear that badge. I love it.
And she's going to, in future mentor, life coach and guide, kids of a younger age, because we're trying to scout, girls who are playing some good cricket, and she could be the best ambassador for that. And she's, like 15, 17, she can, groom those kids to become, great players with her exposure, with her understanding, with her, kind of coaching, exposure she has had. So I think she would be a part and parcel of the Foundation of Goodness going
100%.
forward.
She'll be like a really great ambassador for the Foundation of Goodness. And because it's Women's Day also, I wanted to emphasize the point that it's important to have people like Lottie for the other girls as well, because when you have people who are like you, who other females coaching, playing, and when you have someone like you to look up to, that inspiration instantly becomes stronger.
Right.
So
you can put a face to the idea of
exactly.
When you're a kid, you go, oh, I'd love to do this, but there's no one that looks like me doing it, so it's so hard. Yeah, I never had that growing up. When I started playing cricket, I was the only girl on a boys' team, which was fine. I was with my friends, but that in itself was difficult. And then there were no female coaches. And then I joined a girls' team, South Wilts, which is the club that I currently play for, and I love them. I have the best memories there, and I'm so grateful for all that they taught me. But even then, the coach was a boy, and he was a dad of one of the girls, and he was sort of doing it as a father figure, which was lovely, but I didn't have a single female role model. Even my coach now is a man. They all are. So I love that I can coach the girls as a girl, but I also love, I think just as much, if not more, coaching the boys as a girl. So I think it's just as important that they see that a girl could be a coach, a girl can do this just as well as they can. I think because the girls, we know that deep down. We need to be reminded of it sometimes, and it's great to have that role model. But I want to also show the boys that the girls can do this. Like, it's all about equality, I suppose.
And also she has become a great admirer of Sri Lanka. So she is actually, though today is her last day of volunteering, but she's also traveling around Sri Lanka. Who knows where she'll end up, with a bubbling personality, a buzzing personality, and that vivacious personality, because she's going today, and she says, I asked her, she's going back in July. So, just look at this, April, May, June, July. 4 months.
4 more months.
4 more months, and she's going to travel all over Sri Lanka. I told her when she comes to Colombo, I want her to visit our head office and then have a chat.
Yeah,
and
I'd love to.
Actually, that's amazing. Like you said, at 19, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to or capable of doing that. So kudos to you, Lottie, for coming out here and doing all that.
Thank you. But that's the difference, I suppose, between you mentioned earlier, your mothers, the Sri Lankan mothers wouldn't let their children do that. My mother was pushing me onto that plane. She was going, you go, you do it. It's just a cultural difference. A lot of my friends are traveling the world currently, or they're at university, or they're living away from home, whereas the girls that I meet out here, who are girls and boys, are living with their parents far later on into their adult years, and it's simply a cultural difference. But I'm not saying one is better or worse. It might be nice if my mother was like, no, stay at home, but my parents were definitely very like, you go and learn. And the best way to learn is to go and do this on your own.
So, where have you planned your itinerary going from here now?
Honestly, Kushal, there's very little planning that's happened. I'm going down to Hirakatia near
That's your
Dikwara.
favorite place?
It is my favorite place, other than Sinigama and Hikkaduwa.
Okay.
It's a close second. I love it there. It's got a really nice feel to it. A lot of surfing, just being active the whole time, which is all I need in life. Just people to be active with. So I'm going down there for a week volunteering.
Then you don't know where you will.
And then I don't know. I know I'll spend some time in Colombo. There's a volunteering position that I might take up there for a couple of weeks. I'd love to go to Yala National Park. That's somewhere that I need to go to. But other than that, I haven't really done much planning.
So we're very grateful for your, visit here. We indeed value your time. We think you will rejoice greatly in advancing years when you actually, see that memorabilia board.
I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for that. It's a lovely present.
And the volunteer certificate.
Yeah.
You can have this memorabilia board by your side when you get up.
I will,
and even if you have a bad day, you can look at it and say, let bad days be bygone. And this is what my life is all about and all of that.
Yeah.
But I think before you leave, we have two very, very super English little stars. One is Natalie and one is Jumana. So they are both going to ask questions from you, and they're not very far behind you. They're only 6 years behind you.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing.
But you have to give them the kind of motivation, inspiration for them to keep advancing. So they're both very, very, what shall I say, very conversant.
Talented.
Yeah.
I've met Natalie before. Her
yeah,
English is phenomenal.
she's extremely friendly, very, very communicative,
Yes,
and then they also speak, very decent English. So I would like them to be on the Good News Radio without fear and with confidence to ask the questions they want to ask now.
Fire away, girls.
Okay, we first give Natalie the chance.
Okay, my first question is, as you are a cricket coach, what are the experiences you got while training our ladies cricketers?
what experiences have I
Yeah.
gained from training the girls? Oh, that's a good question. I've loved meeting the other coaches that are coaching the girls and seeing how they are seeing how they're coaching the girls, because it's very different to what people coach like at home, like what they prioritize in terms of technique versus strength, or speed of, there's a lot of emphasis on the speed of your bowling or the strength, whereas with girls it doesn't always have to be that. And it's really cool to see the coaches focusing on technique and precision, and how you don't have to be the fastest or the strongest or the biggest to be a skillful player. And I've loved coaching the girls that and showing them that they can be far better than the boys if they just really narrow down that technique.
But Natalia, I know you're studying very hard, and you always want to be very studious. But are you interested in sports?
Yeah, do you play cricket?
Yes, not cricket, but sometimes when my brother is interested in cricket, so sometimes because my house is near the beach, sometimes we go to the beach and play. But I'm not good at playing cricket. But
can you not swim being next to the beach?
I can swim. I think before few months ago, I swam in the sea 2 miles.
2 miles in the sea, wow.
2 miles? You
That's
did go
crazy.
2 miles
Yeah.
for the school?
Yeah, for the school.
Very
That's
nice.
amazing.
Very nice. So that's absolutely superb stuff.
I'm
Swimming.
also...
why don't you go for swimming in the Branadam swimming pool?
I did before, but now I can't because the days which I'm free, now I got classes on those days.
Oh my God.
That's the thing. And I come here also 2 days, except today. So then I have another classes on other days.
Did you complete the 2 miles you swim?
Sorry?
Did you complete the 2 miles?
Yeah. I complete.
Wow.
That's very, very cool.
So good. That's amazing.
Also, just going back to the cricket quickly, you said you're not very good. I don't believe that for a second. I think at least half, if not more, of the girls on my team that I play with at home only got into, I say only, the reason that they play cricket is because their brothers did or their dads did. And it was a family fun event. And so they said they have an older brother, he was playing cricket, and they wanted to join in. And that curiosity to go, I don't know what this is about, but I'll join in. Let me have a try, whether I'm a girl or a boy, is so important. So, I mean, that could, I'm playing at a relatively high standard at home, and so many of these girls just were curious and just picked it up and said, I want to give that a go. So your cricket career, you could go so far with that, for sure.
Okay, so my next question is, so you told that you like string hoppers and dart. So what are the other foods you love? Sri Lankan foods.
Oh, I love Sri Lankan food. That's one of my favourite things about this place. I was telling Kushil earlier. My favourite Sri Lankan food has definitely got to be kottu.
Kottu.
It's so delicious. I love kottu and roti and all of that. But
So kottu, when you say it's chicken kottu, or how do you?
chicken, vegetables, egg, all of it, everything. Yeah. But I was saying to Kushil how, because of my skin colour and because I'm a tourist, essentially, I order food, particularly kottu, and they have no spices in it because I can't handle Sri Lankan spices, even if I don't ask. So then I sometimes have to get my friends, my Sri Lankan local friends, to go and order the kottu for me. So then it's well spiced.
So they reduce the spice.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
you.
They do, and sometimes I need it. Sri Lankan spices are very powerful.
She can eat more spice than the normal.
Tourists didn't eat spices and meat. There are some I met. They didn't eat spices and meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then, what kind of experiences you got in the time that you spent in the 7 weeks that you spent before? What are the experiences? Not at the foundation, other.
Other experiences.
She has plenty.
I'm getting some funny looks.
Struggling to select which one.
So I spend a lot of time in Hikkaduwa, and I do love it there. There's a bar that I go to frequently, which sounds bad. I don't go because it's a bar, but they have a lovely group of people there who are just the most phenomenal, caring, funny people. They all have phenomenal English. Maybe that sounds condescending to say, but their English is very good. And I go and I sit with them and I play cards with them and we drink and chat. And that's got to be one of the top things outside of the foundation. Although actually one of the boys there, Ashan, I think his name is, and we got chatting one day, and this was after 4 weeks of knowing him. I had become friends with him, and we were talking about FOG, and he asked me how my day was, and I said I was coaching with Dinesh and Anura and people, and he goes, "Oh, I know Anura," and I go, "Fab, that's good. How do you know Anura?" And he pulls up pictures of him at the sports centre 5, 6, 7 years ago, and he was one of the children that Dinesh and Anura were coaching. He's been playing at the foundation all of his childhood. So I asked him the next day, the next lunchtime when I had some time off, and we went and played cricket together in the nets, and that was just so cool. I loved that. And he saw Dinesh again, and yeah, I mean, I guess that is FOG related, but I love these people in Hikkaduwa.
Wow.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. Everyone.
So maybe
Everyone loves
Natalie, Jumana has a
Yeah.
question to ask. You can ask question, Jumana, from Lottie.
Okay. I'm sorry. So you told her that mostly foreigners don't eat spices or anything, right? So
True.
before you came to Sri Lanka, what was your life like before you came to Sri Lanka?
So I finished school last year. So we do A-levels age 17 and 18 at home, and I finished that last summer, and then I've been working. I mean, my life at home was sort of school and sport. My life revolves around sport. I also play field hockey as well as cricket, and I coach field hockey as well. And I just, if I'm not playing, then I'm coaching, or I'm with my friends talking about it. And at school I had a phenomenal team at school. I was the only girl on the boys team, the cricket team at school, but that was the best experience. We would turn up to matches against boys teams and they'd go, "Oh, what's she doing here?" And then we'd whoop them. It was great fun. But yeah, my life at home, I'm very busy, always very busy. Sometimes a little bit of partying, just because balance is good. Yeah.
Good.
And what are you hoping to do in the future?
So I'm starting university in September at Cardiff to study history and politics, and I love studying. I didn't used to, but over the last couple of years I've really enjoyed it, and I'm actually now missing it quite a lot. So I'll go to Cardiff and play for their sports teams and study history and politics, and then I don't know what I'll do after that. I really like teaching or coaching, so hopefully I might pursue a career in some form of teaching. I don't know what it would be, but yeah, it's a good question.
Thank you very much, our English little star Natalie, and our brand new computer to the team. So thank you, girl. Thanks a lot.
Well done, guys.
And so, Lottie, I think a lot has been said about you and the work that you were doing, but more importantly, the person that you have been around here. So thank you so much for bringing so much energy, positivity and enthusiasm to the Foundation of Goodness and the greater areas of the southern coast. I think Sri Lanka will definitely miss you, but you'll be here for a while, but even
I'll
after
be back. I'll be back.
Yes, I can see that you'll be back. So thank you so much for being an amazing volunteer, and thank you for the remarkable work, and good luck with the next chapter of your life.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been the most phenomenal opportunity.
Lottie, we wish you nothing but the best for you to become the kind of person that you aspire to achieve, and also to give back to the community, because I know you have a very good heart. No beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart, and nothing multiplies so much as kindness. I know you have that, heartstrings that, warm you up when you see something that you want to actually, generously and selflessly help. So we wish you nothing but the best to become the person who you want to be. And don't forget the Foundation of Goodness.
I will never forget it. But this has been such a life-shaping, person-shaping experience that you say you wish me all the best in becoming the person that I want to be. And what you've done, what the Foundation has done for me is already a huge step. I've learned so much about myself and about the type of person that I should be and I want to be, and I
will make you a goodness ambassador, and also probably when you make your big money, you become a stakeholder of the Foundation of Goodness.
Yeah, I will be playing on that England women's cricket team, and I'll be saying this is where it started.
Wow. Great, wonderful.
Don't hold me to it.
And we wish you, everything that you need in terms of blessings to get there as fast as you can.
Thank you.
Shivana, have you one more question? Do you have or
No.
Speak loud.
No, I think I'm done right now.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Natalie, one more? Oh, she has so many questions.
Yes. You told that you like history. I like history too.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Natalie, say your ambition.
Yeah, I want to be an archaeologist.
Very cool.
But now I have to be a software engineer because I love maths, and so being software engineer and archaeologist both.
Wow. That's a phenomenal future you've got ahead. Either would be phenomenal.
I'd like to take over the Foundation of Goodness.
Yeah, it's another one. It's another ambition. I
love that. I think that just sums up for me what the Foundation is teaching. The fact that you say you love maths and you also love history and you're also phenomenal at English, and you've got this insanely wide range of skills, age 13 already, and you have such a future ahead of you. That just is what the Foundation is. It's about giving these kids who have so much drive and passion the opportunity to actually do something with their lives. It's so cool. Archaeologist sounds really cool. Definitely do that.
At this time, I have lots of ambitions.
Yeah, good. As you should.
Yeah.
And being at this place will let you achieve
now
that.
I'm doing innovations in schools. My schools, in my school's music band, and in the media unit. I'm in everything in school.
Good.
So now I can't choose, and I hope to do everything now.
You don't have to choose. Never narrow it down.
We'll ask you the same question next year.
Yeah.
Then you might decide to do something different.
No, hopefully the answer's the same, that you still love doing everything. That's so important. Don't try and narrow it down. At home, we are narrowed down so early, and you have to cut off learning things so quickly, which is horrible. I think the fact that you're learning such a wide range of things is so important. Keep doing that for as long as possible.
Yeah. In my school, my teacher told me to have a dream bucket. So in that dream bucket, I have lots of things listed. One of that is being a volunteer and ambassador of this foundation.
Very good.
That's a good dream.
Super.
That's great to hear, Natalie. Thank you for sharing that. And to all the women listening, so I hope we take a leaf out of what Natalie said, and we don't have to be restricted to one thing, right? As women, we can dream of many things and try to balance it all and really have time to do what we like. So thank you so much. Thank you, Kushal, for hosting this interview. Thank you again, Lottie. Thank you for everything that you have done for the foundation.
And Lottie has been here for more than she wanted to be. She was like saying
Yes,
10
that's true.
minutes, and now she's almost going into nearly 1 hour.
I was trying to persuade you not to make me do this, but I've loved it.
Okay,
Thoroughly
fantastic.
enjoyed chatting to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
and
you.
ladies and gentlemen, so that was the Good Volunteer segment where we also spoke about the significance of Women's Day and what women's empowerment means really at the foundation of goodness. So thank you so much for listening in. The time right now is 3:20 p.m. Do stay tuned with us till 5 p.m. at the Good News Radio, and we will be right back with our next segment.